Hi everyone, welcome to the Elev8 project. I'm Ryan and we are going to be talking about the Meta Oakley Vanguards. I have been getting emails, I've been getting calls, I've been getting text messages and asking, hey, are you getting the new Oakley Meta Vanguards? I've been pretty excited about this launch because the collaboration with Meta and Oakley seemed really good in this Vanguard series or this Vanguard piece of tech, because Meta has released a couple different AI glasses, I would say, in the last 3 to 4 years, specifically one with the Ray-Ban collaboration with Meta. I like those as well. And then they also collaborated with Oakley before the Vanguards. I don't even know what it's called. I think it's Hasborn or HSborn. You know what? Let me just take a look real quick. Houston, HSTN. Now, what was really intriguing for me is that I love the design of the Vanguards. They're very similar to the Oakleys that I have for cycling. I have the Oakley EV radars right here, as well as the Jawbreakers. Now, I use those for cycling and for running. Now, it has full coverage. It's great for wind protection, debris, etc. And of course, the prism lenses to protect from the different weather conditions and how bright and not bright it may be outside. Now, what's kind of exciting is that the Meta Oakley Vanguards are a combination of basically 3 things. 1, sunglasses for eyewear. So for me, when I cycle, never go without a pair of sunglasses or glasses to protect my eyes. And so again, I use these ones here, the Oakley Radar EV Paths. And then I do like to bring a pair of headphones. So again, for long rides, 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 hours on a solo ride, I use these. And these are the Shokz OpenRun Pro 2s. Again, they're open ears. They wrap around and they use a bone conduction technology. So typically I like to listen to podcasts and audiobooks and that alike. Not typically music though. And the reason why is that the bass isn't that great. However, for audio, so audiobooks and podcasts, it works great. It's pretty amazing and long battery life. Very comfortable. I've had no issues with it, especially when I'm wearing a bike helmet. It does wrap around all the way around on the back of my neck. And it's sweat-proof, waterproof, lasts me for hours, have no issues. And the last thing is a camera. So I'll either be having the Insta360 Go Ultra. What I like about the Insta360 Go Ultra is that you can separate the action pod and just use the camera. And it comes with a magnetic necklace. You pop it on there and you're good to go. And this will film 4K, 60 frames per second. And I'm not tied to memory because this allows you to put an external micro SD card. So that is a big bonus. And then of course, if needed, for different angles, I got my iPhone to go with me as well. So why am I talking about this pair of sunglasses on this channel? Well, if you're starting a YouTube channel, and maybe it's a cycling YouTube channel, cycling niche has been growing. It's always exciting. I watch a lot of cycling channels. And of course, you need to film your content when you're on the road. So this was really enticing for me to really test out, check out. But it's $679 Canadian. And I think it's about $499 USD, which at first glance is a lot of money. Now, what I just showed you, a pair of Oakleys, like these ones here, run about $200 to $300 US, and yeah, about maybe $200, $250 US, $300 Canadian. And for a pair of headphones, specifically for sports, so like again, the Shokz OpenRun Pro 2s are roughly about $179 US, $200, $230 Canadian. So now we're already about $500 Canadian. And then something like this, which is an action cam. Now, this is the Insta360 Go Ultra. Again, this is a nice size. It separates from the action pod. And in reality, I can just take this with me. I don't need to take the action pod with me, and this will record my journey and my adventures. And this, again, will record in 4K 60. Now, that's roughly about $500 US just for the camera. Now, with the Oakley Meta glasses, of course, you're going to get some AI features. And now that I've kind of put all those three things together, $679 Canadian or $499 US kind of sounds like a good deal. However, I really wanted, even though I was excited about this, what am I really sacrificing? So let's take a look on the website, kind of go through its features, go through its paces, and kind of see, is it worth getting now? Or is this something to hold off for maybe a second generation, or just hold off and just invest in those separate pieces of tech, like separate pair of headphones, separate camera, and get full functionality? So let's go jump online and see what online has to say. Okay, so we're online. We are looking at the Oakley website, and this is the Meta Vanguard. Now, for me, this is the color I would get if I was going to get this today. These are the Meta AI glasses. I like the 24 karat gold lens, not just because they're gold, is because this pair of prism lens is really good for a huge variety of weather conditions. So it will last if it's somewhat low light, but not dark. It will do very well when it gets bright, but not super bright. So it's a good universal all-weather lens. This here, the black and like red prism road lens, this is the lens that I use with my jawbreakers, my Oakley jawbreakers, and it's a great lens, good separation of contrast, especially for cycling, and I find it best when it's really sunny. And then this is a great combination. I do like the white and black. I've never tried this lens. To be fair, the way that it's advertised, it looks like it's going to have a good contrast, and it is going to be for really sunny weather. Advertised here with golfing to kind of separate the green and the golf ball. And again, this is also a nice color combination, the white and the prism sapphire lenses. Now, something that I do like about the Oakley glasses, they typically are interchangeable lenses. So I do have interchangeable lenses for both my jawbreaker as well as the EV radar. And just kind of show you, this is one of the lenses here, and it's actually the prism sapphire lens. So you get a good variety, especially with different weather conditions, and you want to be able to use the same frames. So it will be interesting, and I think you can with the Oakley Meta Vanguards, that you can interchange the lenses and keep the frames. Now, the only thing that you may not be able to do is change these side colors of the lens, because I think that's also where it's touch sensitive to control like the volume and possibly recording. I'm not sure. I obviously don't have it with me, but I believe this is at least one of the sides are touch sensitive. So let's go back to the color that I would go with. I would go with the 24 karat lens. Again, more universal lens. And as you can see, it looks like it has some venting here at the top. And looks like there's an LED light. So there's going to be some sort of indicator when recording. And here is the lens, which is right above the nose piece, which is centered. I think that's really important. I think that is going to give you a nice view, especially when you're cycling. It's going to be centered. And when you're running as well, depending on what activity you're doing, versus something like my Ray-Ban Meta glasses that I have right now, the wafers, the camera lens is by the temple, so it's not really center. Now, let's take a look at some more. Wow, okay. So here you can see the sunglass arms are quite large, which I'm going to assume are going to be some pretty loud speakers because they're open ear. Now, one of the differences with the Shokz is that it uses bone conducting technology. So the speakers don't necessarily have to be loud to hear what's playing. So I would assume, again, just assuming, that these are going to be fairly loud to compensate for wind noise, especially when you're cycling and you're going for a bike ride, and they want to ensure that you're going to be able to listen to what you're listening to, music, audiobooks, podcasts, etc. And if you're on a call, I can only imagine that it's going to be, you're going to be able to hear, or someone beside you will be able to hear what you're listening to in your conversation. So I think that just to be aware. Here, it looks like you have an adjustable nose piece, which is good. Looks very nice and clean. Very Oakley, traditional Oakley design. Again, full wrap for eye protection. Very slick. I like that design for sports. Very sporty. And looks like it comes with a carrying case, which I'm going to assume as well will also be its charging case. And we're going to check the battery life, but I believe that you'd be able to put it into the case to recharge and not necessarily have that case connected to a charger all the time. Now, again, one of the beautiful things as a sports pair of sunglasses, which is really, really cool that they combine Garmin and Strava, or partnered with Garmin and Strava. So for me, I do use an Apple Watch for running. When I'm cycling, I have a Garmin computer. So it's nice that it looks like it will connect that data with Garmin. I'm not sure how maybe we'll do it in both ways, but it looks like you'll be able to integrate the data while you're on a ride, maybe with the video or just with audio. I mean, honestly, for my biking computer, I don't mind just looking down and seeing my data, my speed, my power, my cadence, etc. However, it's nice that it will connect to that data, so you can simply ask maybe, what is your average speed per kilometer or mile, etc. And looking at action auto capture to trigger highlights automatically. So cool. So it looks like it will do things like, let's say you're going for a 100K bike ride, and every kilometer it will start recording automatically. So you hit that marker, etc. And it has the Garmin watch, but I'm sure that means that it will connect to a Garmin bike computer, like a Garmin Edge. Strava, share and post sessions with Strava. So it looks like, once you've done your recordings and you put this in the case, look like it will connect through your phone and be able to post on Strava automatically. So there's a feature that Garmin has, which I have. So when I'm done my ride, it automatically connects to Strava when I am in internet, in Wi-Fi, and it'll automatically post my ride so I don't have to do it manually. So it looks like this is kind of similar. It will automatically connect to Strava, and then you're good to go. So that's pretty cool features. Again, having those automatic features makes it really, really easy and convenient. The Meta AI, obviously. So kind of a note, you're going to have, for these sunglasses, for the AI features, it needs to be synced to your phone in some way. And it looks like if you want it synced to your Garmin device as well, which you're most likely going to have your Garmin device with you on a ride and possibly a run if you have a Garmin watch. Hands-free capture. Again, I like how it's positioned by the nose piece. One thing that I liked about the cameras for the Ray-Ban wafers is that it looked like it was part of the design of the glasses because the camera was by the temple. Now, again, I'm gonna go into a store to check these out and see them live. But I wonder if I'm walking around and using these sunglasses as sunglasses and not for a bike ride, not for a run, is that camera noticeable or does it stand out? So looking here, it looks like it's an ultra wide 12 megapixel camera and 3K for video capture. So that means I'm going to take a look at the specs, but that makes me think that it's going to be similar to the Meta Ray-Ban Metas that I have, which mine aren't 3K, by the way. The way that it records, though, is for vertical content. So I don't think it will film in a 16:9 ratio. Immersive audio, so powerful open ear speakers built into the temples. So yeah, so it's not bone conducting, which is totally fine. And it looks like they're fairly large speakers, which would mean that, again, you'll be able to hear your audio on something like a bike ride with wind noise. Prism technology, again, I love that they're partnering up with Oakley. I love the Prism technology. With the lenses that I have, they're all Prism, and some of the lenses that I have are also polarized Prism lenses. So again, I love the 24K. It's really great in a lot of different weather conditions. Battery life. Okay, this is what I'm interested in. From first track to final, Oakley Vanguard's going with 6 hours of continuous audio. That's pretty amazing if even it gets a third of that. Because if I'm going for the last major run that I did was a marathon. I haven't done an ultra marathon, but I've done a marathon. The last one I did was the BMO Vancouver Marathon in May. And it took me about 4 hours to run. And so I'm glad that, if I was going to be listening to audio, that it'll be able to last that whole run. Now, typically on a regular run, I'm running on maybe only 5, 10K, maybe 21K, like a half marathon distance. And so it looks like that's great battery life. Now, I did do the Tour de Victoria, which I did the 100K. Took me about 3 hours and 30 minutes. So again, if I was listening to audio, that would have been great. 9 hours of daily use, and the case adds 36 more hours. And it takes 75 minutes to charge. So that's not too bad. So just with the audio feature, let's just say not the camera at all, just for the audio and the glasses. I mean, the 679 Canadian and the maybe $499 USD. It's not too bad. It doesn't look like you're having that much sacrifice. I would be interested to try these on and feel the weight. Now, again, I don't feel I'm already wearing a pair of sunglasses and a pair of headphones. And having that in one set, I don't think will be a big deal. I think it'd probably be, probably feel more comfortable just having one piece versus two. And then of course you're gonna have the Meta AI app. That's where it's gonna connect to do AI commands and transfer your video and photos, all your media. And yeah, so hey Meta, how am I doing? You know, you've ridden, so it looks like when it connects to your Garmin, it will let you know how many miles that you've ridden or ran, and your average pace, which is nice. And some details here. So again, speakers, 2 custom speakers, custom 5 mic array. So that's kind of nice to know. So there's a lot of mics. So it should be able to capture the Hey Meta control. So touch control. So again, so those side lenses on the arms, there's some touch control there. Voice control using the Meta Assistant. So again, let me just zoom that in a little bit. Again, the audio. The connectivity, Wi-Fi 6E, that's good. Bluetooth 5.3, compatibility with both Apple and Android. And camera. So looking at the camera, image quality, 3K, video 720p, 120 frames per second, and it looks like 2K at 30 frames per second. So again, it looks like, again, not a big deal for social media if you're going to be putting the video content for Instagram and even YouTube. Don't get me wrong, depending if it's just riding your footage of your adventure and segments of your ride, I don't think will be too bad. I'm glad that it's above 1080, and at least you can punch in and zoom in to fill a 16:9 frame and not lose too much quality. Battery, again, 9 hours single charge, 6 hours of audio, and it's got, here we go. So it's 32 gigabytes of onboard memory. For photos, that's great. Now for videos, when you're going on a ride, maybe you're going to record 5 to 10, maybe 1 to 2 minute videos. Maybe you're going on a descent, or you're going uphill, or you're filming your friends, etc. So that's not bad. Like this is really not bad. Again, it's the lens description, frame here, charging case, etc. So man, it looks really, really promising. So certain things to really think about if I would get this now. It would take a lot. I think the only main reason why I would get it now is just to review it, to test it out, feel it out. Because right now it's colder, it's winter time. I'm not going to go for a lot of outdoor runs or a lot of outdoor rides. I'm going to be doing a lot of indoor running on a treadmill and indoor cycling with an indoor trainer. So I'm not going to have the need to use sunglasses, etc. It'll probably be weird for me to use the technology of like just for the headphones, wearing the sunglasses indoors. And the camera is interesting because 3K, again, this is for social media and maybe showing some of your adventure, I think is not too bad. Of course, you're going to get a lot better quality from a full-fledged action cam, again, like the Insta360 Go Ultra. I also have the Insta360 X5, and I'll either use both of those on a ride, but at least I'll have the Insta360 Go Ultra with me. And depending on the ride, I'll have my iPhone. If I'm going for a run, though, I don't typically like bringing my phone. I have my Apple Watch, and it's the cellular version, so I'm able to make calls, receive calls, any emergency messages, things like that. Headphones, yeah, I can connect my headphones to my Apple Watch. So it'd be interesting. But for now, it's not. I was very tempted today. Don't get me wrong. A lot of media. I will take the effort this week to at least go into a store and try a demo, Sunglass Hut or Best Buy. Best Buy has these as well, and to try them on for fit, just because different styles of sunglasses also fit differently. So maybe even the fit and feel may not be there. But the reasons why I wouldn't get it. So the reasons why I wouldn't get it. One, I have a great pair of headphones. I have a couple pairs of Oakleys already that do a great job. And I think they are fairly fashionable, personal opinion. And for that price point, because I already have headphones and I have action cams, I can buy 2 or 3 more pairs of Oakleys or different pairs of sunglasses for different styles or lenses to really add to my collection if I wanted to. So it would be a want at this point, a good to have, not necessarily a need. Now, if I didn't have a pair of headphones and I didn't have an action cam and I didn't have a pair of Oakleys, I think this would be right up my alley. I think this would be something that, looking at the price point and maybe sacrifice a little bit on the camera quality, it'd be interesting. It'd be something I'd probably jump on. Now, even though this is the second version or the second collaboration with Meta, it'd be interesting to see the next version. Would want to see maybe a better camera, would like to see better resolution and better memory on board. Audio, when I'm doing sports, is not a big deal for me. I would like just to hear what I'm listening to clearly. However, the mic, I guess that's convenient, especially when you're a cycling ride. And for me, I have to slow down, make sure that I can get to my camera and press record, versus something like the Oakley Meta Vanguards. You can say, hey, Meta, start recording. Again, I'm assuming those are going to be the simple commands. So I think it'll be fun. I think they're great looking glasses, great collaboration, but it's really nice to see where we're going forward with technology in sports, especially when we want to record our adventures. And yeah, I think also knowing that Black Friday is coming up, Christmas time, and Boxing Week, there might be some really great deals that might entice and tempt me to get it, to try it out, because I would love to just try it out. After the stream, you should be able to add some comments. Let me know if you're interested, if you want to wait and are interested to see a review and get my perspective. And yeah, I might try it out and probably use the return policy after a review. So we'll check those out. Those are the Oakley Meta Vanguard. Very cool. And yeah, something that I'm interested in. Let me know. Are you going to buy the Oakley Meta Vanguard? Let me know in the comments. And if you are, let me know why. If you're not, go ahead and tell me why as well. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for jumping onto the live stream and at least checking it out. And until next time, I'm going to keep this a little bit short. Again, the reason why I jumped on here is because I was just so excited getting a lot of these emails and messages. Hey, the Oakley Meta Vanguards are here. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Appreciate you. We'll catch you in the next one.